hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
What's good, everyone? I'm IAnthonyD. It's good to see your beautiful faces. How are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. We have some new Texas Chain Saw Massacre news to talk about, and it's all about the main man, Grandpa, and this changes that are coming to TCM. They have a new hub post for us to go over. We're going to break it down, but before we do that, make sure you subscribe and notifications set to all so you don't miss out on future content. We're making that push towards 50,000 subscribers, so help me make this dream a reality. Join the community today. You know, we need you. All right, let's do this. The team is changing how Grandpa perks unlock and functions during matches. The article goes on to say, as mentioned in our skill tree rewards community hub post, the team has been working on how to make Grandpa perks function differently in game. We aim to both freshen up gameplay and give more utility to feeding Grandpa, a mechanic that hasn't quite hit the mark we intended. We decided to place Grandpa perks into certain level categories. These levels will then be tied to Grandpa's family bond in order for them to unlock. A level 1 Grandpa perk will only be available for family once they feed Grandpa to level 1. We wanted Grandpa to play a bigger role in each match, and we are excited to see how family players strategize their builds accordingly. Players should keep in mind that if your team only brings level 3 Grandpa perks, none of them will unlock unless your team has fed Grandpa to get to level 3. These perks then will all unlock at the same time. So there you have it. Some of the changes coming to Grandpa is that the perks for him will now be categorized in 3 levels, with some of the stronger perks being in level 3. And if you only bring level 3, you won't, now you just won't have anything for 1 or 2 when you feed him to those levels. You'll have to actually feed him all the way up to level 3 now to get him. Obviously this has to do with the exterior alarms kind of thing, only bringing that. You can see here that the levels that they have for Grandpa perks, again with exterior alarms in level 3, nobody escapes hell in level 3, and then you have suffocating grip in level 2. Those are really the only 3 Grandpa perks I've ever even really seen used intentionally, at least. And this change is a welcome one. I think there needs to be some changes to Grandpa. I've seen some back and forth on how people think about it. Just off the top of my head, it's just like one of the biggest issues I see with this change, and correct me if I'm wrong, because this is just what I've been thinking about, is it doesn't work with the rush meta. Having a family member, or having like, I love the idea of Grandpa being important and crucial to the match, but having a family member focus on blood when the rush meta is still a thing, 15 seconds in and they're popping doors, you can't really afford to mess with Grandpa now, especially with perks like exterior alarms and nobody escapes hell. These are perks that combated the rush meta the best that family members could. It's now they're in level 3. I don't see how that's going to work unless family just completely adapts to blood builds. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, and which maybe that's going to change things up, and maybe that's for the better. Who knows? We'll have to see how it plays out. But unless you have all 3 family members on it with blood builds and they're able to get Grandpa fed super quickly, I don't know how this is going to work with the current state of the game. As always, I could be wrong. I'd love to hear what you guys think down below about that. I think this is a step in the right direction, because there are obviously exterior alarms. You can make that argument that these types of some of these perks need to be changed, and if you want to say exterior alarms shouldn't work on basement doors, I'm cool with that. If you want to say that nobody escapes hell is a little too rough, I'm cool with that. We're making steps in the right direction, which is a good thing. You know, I have seen people bring up ideas that if victims rush, maybe Grandpa gets an automatic level 1. Things like that I think is okay. We can talk about that. I think that would help a little bit with the rush meta, making it a little bit more high risk, high reward type of deal. But I would love to know what you guys think about these changes, and how do you feel about the levels here? Do you think perks like exterior alarm need to be in level 3? The suffocating grip being level 1, things like that? I would love to hear. Just to give you an idea what the community is thinking, here's some thoughts from Reddit. Interesting. This will make rushing even stronger. Take Slaughterhouse for example. I've had victims be upstairs and meet me at the Slaughterhouse door before I can even reach Grandpa when I play a sissy. Suffocating grip and exterior alarms are by far the best Grandpa perks. A coordinated victim team doesn't give you any time to feed Grandpa. I mean, I get it. Lots of stats and family players with a brain will just run exterior alarm, suffocating grip, and or nobody escapes hell. Problem is, the rest of those perks don't bring much to the table, so why not improve them as well? Or perhaps, you know, after almost a year of the game being out, introduce some new Grandpa perks to freshen up the game. These changes are less of a freshen up and more of an acknowledgement that people just cheese the same perks for Grandpa over and over due to the value of the other perks not being anywhere near as good. I don't care one way or the other. I half expect victims to carry some sort of anti-grandpa perk anyway, so I tend not to bother feeding him until the family clearly has the advantage in the match. So I suspect that people that only play family will just stop feeding him, in turn making the anti-grandpa perks for victim less valuable as well. But as always, what's important to me is your thoughts. So comment down below what you're thinking about the changes to grandpa. Is it a step in the right direction, or are we taking 2 steps back? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to slash that like button. If you like what I do here and you want to support, become a member of Slash Again today. For as low as $1, support the channel directly. Don't forget to subscribe with notifications set to all. Until then, don't forget the rules to survive. Don't do drugs. Don't have sex. No, yeah. Don't die.
Everybody dies. Everybody dies. These days, there are certain rules. Everybody dies. Everybody dies. You gotta have a secret.
You can never have sex.
Everybody dies. Everybody dies. These days,
You never drink or do drugs.
everybody dies. Everybody dies. You gotta have a secret.